Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Ifene. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, you had that engaging encounter with Peter Obi, presidential candidate of the Labour Party. And you have thrown the invitation to all other presidential candidates to come and sit. I'm sitting here. The seat is not hot, Ruben.
No, we don't bite.
Anybody can sit on this seat and answer questions. It's not hot. I can testify, and I'm sure Peter Obi has done that creditably. He can testify that this place is not hot after all. You just have to answer questions because you want to rule Nigerians. You want to be the president of Nigeria. You must be able to talk to Nigerians, answer questions, critical questions, like Peter Obi has done. Now, let's start the review with this day. Nigeria's newspaper of record, U.S. Embassy alert on terror attacks in Abuja, reduces services, UK, orders follow. Yes, military stands ready. Schools take precautionary measures, move classes online. DSS sues for calm, says populace should remain alert. Yes, the U.S. Embassy started it all, raising that alert to U.S. citizens. And of course, the U.K. High Commission followed. Other European countries also followed suit, alerting that there is danger in the way. Terrorists likely to strike in the seat of government, the Federal Capital Territory. That is, well, ordinarily, if you look at, listen to what the government officials are saying, that, well, before we came to power, bombs were exploding in Abuja. Today, what do we have? Abuja citizens live in fear. Schools, even before this alert, are taking precautionary measures to secure their environment or even close schools. And according to this report, many are doing online classes. But clearly, if what happened recently, and we hope it will not be the case again, where there was ample intelligence that terrorists were going to strike in the Federal Capital Territory, Kuje Prison specifically, nothing was done. No action taken to avert that attack. It happened. Terrorists who were in that facility, federal government facility, were let loose. And up to date, none of those people have been apprehended. So we expect it's not enough for the DSS to just ask Abuja citizens to be alert and be calm. There must be service-wide, across-board action to ensure that this does not happen again, where terrorists will have their way in the Federal Capital Territory or elsewhere. It's not too much to ask for a government because the duty of government is to protect lives and property. It's a primary duty, and there can be no compromise on that. Now, let's look at other newspapers quickly. Now, the Guardian newspaper, cholera cases, deaths surge amid nationwide flooding. NCDC confirmed 10,745 cases, 256 deaths in 31 states. Reports 42% increase in September cases compared with August. UNICEF, more than 1.5 million children at risk. Nigeria at extreme high risk of climate change. Climate change impact ranks second out of 163 countries. World Health Organization forced to retain vaccines as cholera cases surge worldwide. Flooding, terrorism-related activities, civil unrest, lack of proper environmental sanitation, others blamed. Now, the issue of the moment, flooding, also responsible for the upsurge of cholera. And of course, when you see what is happening in the various states affected, where there are no clean water to drink anymore. What else do you expect? Now, the floods which have affected 34 out of 36 states in the country have displaced 1.3 million people. Over 600 people have lost their lives, and over 200,000 houses have either been partially or fully damaged. Now, what is the federal government doing? What is the federal government doing? We talked about what happened when one city or one state is affected by one hurricane or a tornado in America. The President of the United States stepped forward and take charge. But in Nigeria, we have also had presidents taking charge in the past. And we just look at what happened before President Muhammadu Buhari became president. In 2010, there was flooding in 3 states. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the then president, approved 2.1 billion naira for the 3 states. 3 states, Lagos, Ogun, and Jigawa states. Each state got 700 million naira to help affected persons. Whether those persons got the money, eventually, I don't know. That's another matter altogether. But the federal government acted October 2010. In 2012, when we had a similar experience, then President, again, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, addressed the nation. Ruben, you must have contributed to that speech. Addressed the nation and approved 17.6 billion naira for the affected states. No, 13 of that amount, 13.3 went to the affected states, while 4.3 billion naira went to federal agencies to help ameliorate the situation. Fast forward to 2022, 34 out of 36 states affected. What has the president or the federal government done? All I've heard so far, blame game. It's not Cameroon. It's over too much rain. It's not Cameroonian dams. It's too much rain. Oh, what have the state governments done with ecological fund over the years? Is that what the suffering people of these affected states want to hear at this time? Or succor coming from the federal government? Now, let's move to other stories. Daily Sun newspaper, Daily Sun, 2023 polls. Tinubu Atiku fight dirty. I won't rule Nigeria from Dubai. As part-time president, APC candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the one speaking. I will not lie to Nigerians about my health status, replies SDP. Yes, Atiku responding. Well, while these brickbats are good for the headlines, of course, makes the editor's job easy, but Nigerians want to hear more serious things. How to deal with the myriad of problems plaguing the nation when any of these persons become president. If they become president, if Nigerians decide to elect any of these people. But again, makes for the season of politicking when you don't have too many serious things to talk, just attack your opponents. Now, the Vanguard newspaper also reporting this story. I am okay. Presidential race is not a wrestling bout. Tinubu says presidency's knowledge-driven job, not raw power. Donates 100 million to Kano flood victims. Adds, I have few steps to become Nigerian president. Tinubu will unite, move Nigeria forward. Ganduje. Atiku Okowa campaign mocks Tinubu over empty Kano streets. Well, Kano is supposed to be one of the strongholds of the APC until a certain Dr. Rabiu Kwankwanso and his Kwankwansia movement. Of course, Kwankwanso is on the presidential ballot. So his movement in Kano is a deep on the APC stronghold, if you will. Now the Punch newspaper, federal government subsidy spending to hit 11 trillion naira in 2023. Government has spent 6.88 trillion on PMS subsidy so far, says NNPC NATI. Regime to spend 1.3 trillion on rehabilitation, maintenance of refinery. Federal government steps up oil theft probe. Who will remove the subsidy? Well, did Obi answer that question? Whether he will remove subsidy? Well, he said what he has to say. Subsidy regime is a crime, according to him. Now, the foreign newspapers, quickly, let's just take one paper in the UK. The Guardian newspaper, The Guardian, UK. Sunak on the brink of number 10 as Johnson quits Tory race. Yes, Rishi Sunak, the one rejected by the Conservatives, and they picked Liz Truss. Now, right there on their face, he has over 150 backers already. Boris Johnson, no backers, so he has pulled out. Penny Mordaunt still being mentioned,
no,
but
he said he had 1 or 2 backers, but because of the unity of the party, that's why he pulled out.
Well,
105 backers.
Yeah, 105 backers. Because of the unity of the party, that's why he pulled out. Not because
although some papers are still reporting that he's struggling to get enough backers. But Penny Mordaunt, 30 publicly, far cry. So is it the coronation of Rishi Sunak?
We seem to be running out of time, but 2 quick things. The first thing is, look, the way this presidential race in Nigeria is going, we may need to start organizing wrestling matches for the people who want to be president of Nigeria. Because the job of leading Nigeria requires a lot of energy, a lot of stamina, a lot of strength. So it's not enough for the candidate of the APC to say, I'm not going for a wrestling match. In fact, I would like to see a wrestling match. Physical, let us see who is strong.
Nobody was riding a bike the other day to show that he's...
well, it's on the lighter side, but, but just to show how serious this matter is. The second thing that I wanted to draw attention to is you spent some time talking about the flood.
Yes.
In 2012, I think on October 9, 2012.
Yes.
President Jonathan.
Yes, October 9, you got it.
Inaugurated a presidential flood relief committee. And also
I haven't addressed the nation a day earlier.
Yes. The broadcast was on October 9.
Okay.
And then about 7.6 trillion was provided. Okay, what has happened to that committee? 17.6 billion. Yeah, okay, billion.
13.3 of that went to the states.
So what happened to that committee? Is it one of those committees that government established and another government came and disbanded? Because you recall that at the time, Alhaji Aliko Dangote and Olisa Agbakoba SAN were appointed the chairpersons, co-chairpersons of that committee. And the reasoning at the time was that, okay, we have this problem, climate change, Lagdo Dam and all that, so Nigeria needs to have this committee. What happened to that committee? Where is Alhaji Dangote? Where is Olisa Agbakoba, SAN, and the other members of that committee? Was that committee disbanded? Because the projection at the time is that this is a problem that will still come up and that Nigeria will have to address it. I think the country can ask questions in that particular regard. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me leave it that way.
Okay.